This WeatherScope is sponsored by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars most Americans trust.
This is a special edition of WeatherScope.
Well, good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Channel. I'm Rich Johnson. We continue to follow a storm which has brought a lot of snow to the Appalachians. I'll show you how much in just a second, but really just as important, the second phase of the storm now, and that is how much wind and rain is falling across the mid-Atlantic coast before the storm moves out later tonight. Let's show you what's going on. First of all, some of the scenes we can show you out of Chesapeake, Virginia. This was the scene earlier today. Many of you had your umbrellas up as you tried to make your way through the rain. Winds gusted anywhere between 30 and 40 miles per hour. You can expect that to continue through the rest of this evening, but as the low moves away, we'll see the conditions calm down. Gradually the rain's going to end and the wind will die down. A little bit farther up the coast, actually, up toward the mid-Atlantic in Delaware and Maryland, there are some of the winds gusting 50, 60 miles per hour. This low is expected to go more like this as opposed to like this with some of those classic nor'easters which dump big amounts of snow up across New England. That is not going to happen this time. A cold day today from New York all the way down to Washington. You might be thinking 36, not so bad for the heart of winter, but the wind chills, it is very windy out there, so the wind chills in this region right here are ranging between, about 8, 9 degrees to around 15 degrees. So it is a very cold day. It feels like it should be snowing as opposed to raining. And of course, we do have the marine advisories up still. Marine warnings, gale warnings out, also coastal flood advisories out for the possibility of coastal flooding. So this storm definitely phase 2 now, where we're looking at some beach erosion. Also, that is going to be compounded on the high tide tonight. Joining me right now is Buzz Bernard, meteorologist here at the Weather Channel. Buzz, we've seen the wind continuing. It will slowly die down, but I believe high tide's coming later this evening. Is that when the biggest problem is going to occur?
Yeah, we look for high tide about, say, between 7:30 and 8:30 this evening, and tides are expected to run 2.5 to 3.5 feet above normal. So there will be some tidal flooding or coastal flooding.
Where do you believe the worst of the conditions will be?
Looks like the Delmarva area and southern New Jersey will get the worst of it, and they've been getting the worst of it all through the afternoon with winds gusting up to 50 to 60 miles per hour.
And you know what? This actually rivals some of the hurricanes. Of course, not a landfalling hurricane. Many of the hurricanes that brush the shore up there, the winds gust in this type of manner too.
That's right, and this is easily the biggest nor'easter of the season so far for the mid-Atlantic region, so they're really getting hammered out of this.
Okay, here's our satellite picture here. Show us now where the low is and what we expect for the rest of this afternoon.
We've got kind of an elongated center, probably someplace in here, and it is heading off, as you indicated, in this direction now, so we don't expect the winds to increase anymore. As a matter of fact, perhaps as we get into this evening, slowly decrease.
Okay, Buzz, it looks like the heaviest of the rain, it's staying south of Long Island, and it's not going to move into New York or Philly too much more. It's sort of moving away now.
They may get some spits of rain up over the island. There seems to be another good band coming up this way, but by and large, you're right. The precipitation is heading off in this direction. Of course, earlier this morning, when I came into work, the precip shield was way back over West Virginia, so it's cleared out of a large area.
Okay, focusing in on Maryland and Northern Virginia, some of the rainfall totals, I saw upwards of 5 inches in one case. How much more rain do you think is going to occur in this area where it's still coming down pretty good?
Perhaps another inch or so, and boy, it's a good thing it wasn't snow, because they'd be buried.
That would have been a lot of snow out there, a couple feet probably. Well, briefly, let's touch on the snow, and we can show you some of the scenes out there from North Carolina, the snow coming on down. Haywood County, this is off to the west of Asheville where the cars were lined up on I-40. The snow came on down. The governor declared a state of emergency for the area, and the National Guard was called out. The top amount of snow that we saw, 40 inches. That was at Beech Mountain. Some other areas totaling some big amounts also. Well, that wraps up the situation. Again, thanks to Buzz Bernard joining us here. Now let's head back to the studio and get the latest on our forecast.
All right, thanks, guys. To the west, heavy rain and strong winds are poised offshore. The storm is set to strike western portions of Washington and Oregon tonight. And as we look at our satellite vantage point, we can show you that, indeed, that moisture is ready to move on in. We are talking about a steady flow that's going to move in for California by tomorrow. We could even see the rain reaching as far south as Los Angeles tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. So get ready for that, folks. Zooming in on the Pacific Northwest, we'll tell you about the rain for folks in Washington State and Oregon. Yeah, we've already seen some scattered showers for you guys, and that is just going to be on the increase. In addition to the rain increasing, the possibility of very windy conditions going to be increasing as well. You see that front well offshore now, but as it moves closer and closer, we're going to bring the winds on in and bring the rain and the snow into the picture. Now, once this front crosses the Sierra, snow levels are going to be tumbling, and we're anticipating quite a bit of snow for the Sierra, so great news for you skiers. Not so great, though, if you have travel plans, right? Do expect some foggy conditions in California, not to mention Iowa and on into Chicago. This, by the way, is another area of low pressure where